NC State is looking to right the ship this weekend as Campbell comes to town for the first time ever in program history. Hi everyone, Noah Fleischman here, host of the Wolfpacker Show. I write for the Wolfpacker.com, which is a part of the On3 network of sites. You can subscribe $1 right now for your first week, and you get all the access to the Wolfpacker. You can read every other fan site within the network. That's over 70 different schools covered. And then you get all the national people doing their thing as well. Plenty of value in $1 for your first week. Sign up today at thewolfpacker.com. Go to the join page and you can learn more there. This week, NC State takes on Campbell, a opportunity for the Wolfpack to right the ship after dropping last two, losing two at Duke and then to Virginia Tech this past weekend. Before we jump into the Camels and what they bring, first, I want you to hear this message from our friends over at BetMGM. As you know now, we've teamed up with BetMGM this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for you guys this each week. When you join BetMGM, you access a variety of parlay selection features like same game parlays, live betting options, and more. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code ON3 and you'll get up to $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app in the App Store and sign up using bonus code ON3. That's ON and the number 3. Then when you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager, you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you're using bonus code ON3 when you sign up. Make this college football season one for the history books. Make it legendary. See betmgm.com for terms. 21 plus only. U.S. promotional offers are not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in all over the United States. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. In New York, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. In Arizona, call 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa, and 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino Hotel. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code ON3 and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. Now let's jump into NC State against Campbell. Big game ahead for the Wolfpack. As I said, they are now 3-2, looking to right the ship after back-to-back losses. The biggest issue in the loss of Virginia Tech is missed tackles. The Wolfpack had 14 according to PFF, but 22 when the coaching staff went back and looked at it. So they kind of graded it a little bit different. It's something NC State needs to fix in a hurry. The Wolfpack have allowed 5 runs of 30 yards or more this season, 4 more of 40 or more, which is only one of 8 teams in all of FBS to do that. They do have an 80-yard run they gave up against the Hokies, one of 3 teams in FBS to give up a run that long. So missed tackles have been killer. If you take out those 5 explosive runs the Wolfpack has allowed this season, and you look at what the rushing numbers look like after that, they will only allow 2.95 yards per carry. It balloons almost to 5 when you add those 5 runs in. That's 41.1% of all carries in those 5 runs, of all yards, excuse me, in those 5 carries. I got a story on that on the Wolfpacker right now. I dive into it, what went wrong, how they can fix it. And it's on the Wolfpacker.com right now. Otherwise, the biggest issue for this team is defense, and it's injuries. The biggest issue for this defense is injuries. Everyone's getting hurt. They lost Sean Brown, the injury against Virginia Tech. He missed the rest of the game after leaving in the third quarter. He's ruled out for this weekend against Campbell. Keaton Fordham will slide back to middle. Linebacker will wear the communication device, while Kenny Soares Jr. will jump into the starting lineup for the first time this season. Keep an eye on freshman linebackers. Kevon Carter and LaCorian Hodge, they have a chance to break it back into the rotation at linebacker. So does Calvin McBride. He's missed the first 5 games of injury. He's back and healthy, ready to go. Outside of the linebacker room, Brody Barnhart was injured against Virginia Tech as well. Does not look particularly good based on a social media post he made. I would not expect him back in the foreseeable future. Outside of that, the Wolfpack has been able to weather the storm. Again, Jackson Vick missed the 2nd game in a row. Assad Brown earned a start. It looks like Assad Brown probably will start again this weekend against Campbell. So a lot of injuries all over the defense. It's been a work in progress. It's been something that Dave Doran really can't wrap his head around. Just kind of unlucky is part of it. They lost 3 defensive backs out for the year as well. With Isaiah Crowell and Rente Hinton both suffering season-ending injuries before the season even started. And then Jaron Sensabaugh was injured on a special teams play in game one and is not returned, and he was also ruled out for the rest of the year. Not a great start injury wise, and they're only at the halfway point of the season coming up this weekend. Still have two more Saturdays before they can get to their first open week of the year, something the Wolfpack will welcome really, really well. Now, let's take a look at Campbell. This is a Campbell team that is 1-4 overall, 1-1 in CAA play. That stands for Coastal Athletic Association in the year 2025. First time these two teams will have played each other in program history, separated by just 35 miles, though. And as well, Campbell does have their law school in downtown Raleigh. So it's kind of interesting how these two schools, so close, yet never have met before on the gridiron. That changes to this weekend, though. Three players to get to know. I'll give you two on offense and one on defense. Camden Six-Killer is their go-to quarterback. He's a McNeese transfer. Well, Wade probably watched him play last year. He's thrown for 1,098 yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks on just under 60% completion rate. He's thrown for at least 200 yards in each of his last 3 games, including 334 yards and 5 touchdowns in a win over Bryant earlier this season. He can sling it. Protection's been a problem, though, for the Camels. Six-Killer's been sacked 11 times this season, at least twice in all 5 games they've played. Another guy on offense, keep an eye on Mike Chandler. He'll line up at wide receiver, he'll line up at running back, and guess what? He'll line up at quarterback. He will go all over the place. He's a wildcat that can't throw the ball. This season, he's the Campbell's 3rd leading receiver with 121 yards and a touchdown. He's also rushed the ball for 60 yards and 2 scores on 27 carries, and he's thrown the ball a little bit as well. So NC State needs to be in mind. He's got 88 passing yards with the touchdown as well. So NC State's defense needs to know where Mike Chandler is at all times. Defensively, we'll pick out Donovan Phylord. Campbell's pass defense isn't good, but he's a good corner. He's got 5 pass breakups and a pick this season to lead the Camels. He's been thrown out 28 times, allowed 17 receptions for 172 yards. Doesn't allow much after the catch, 76 yards after the catch on those 28 receptions. So he does a good job tackling. NC State probably will test them. Campbell has allowed over 300 yards through the air on average so far this season. So that's a problem for the Camels. CJ Bailey, this might be a chance for him to break out. If I'm going to name a breakout player of the game from NC State's point of view, it's going to be Terrell Anderson. And here's why. NC State's going to test this pass defense. It's just a chance for Bailey to do it. Anderson is the team's leading receiver right now with 338 yards, 2 touchdowns on 19 catches. I'd expect him to be targeted a lot. He's not viewed as wide receiver 1 by any means by a lot of people around Raleigh, but I think he's got a chance to cement that this weekend. Yes, it's against a lower level opponent, but Terrell Anderson has the makings of being a wide receiver 1 in this wide receiver room, which is something to say. When you have a Wesley Grimes, you have a Noah Rogers, that's something to say about a sophomore kind of being able to rise up in the occasion and do it. I think Terrell Anderson he's cut from the cloth that wants to be the wide receiver 1. He can make plays. It's just a matter of making enough consistent plays is the thing on his end. He does have at least 3 catches in every pass this season, so keep another eye out for another big day from the Grimsley wide receiver, 4-star recruit when he was in high school out of Greensboro, North Carolina. So I've said a lot about this game, but I really think it comes down to this. It comes down to NC State worrying about NC State. It has plenty of its own problems and injuries and missed tackles and things like that. It's an opportunity for the Wolfpack to figure it out itself before playing at Notre Dame next weekend. We'll have plenty of coverage going into that one with our friends at Blue and Gold of the On3 Network. But I think this one's about NC State just getting back to playing NC State brand of football. That's on defense and on offense. Dave Dorn on his radio show last night said basically this might be a kind of season where NC State's offense has to carry the load, which I'm not surprised that he said that. He admitted that. Because the defense has had to do it the past few years. Keep it at 20 point, allow 20 points and hope you can win. This might be a need to score 35 a game to win games this season, especially on the back half of the schedule. So look for the offense to get rolling. I wouldn't be shocked if they left the starters in for a while in this game to let them roll, but they'll pull them in the 4th quarter if the game gets out of hand, save them for a trip to Notre Dame. But before we make our prediction and talk about some other things around NC State's campus, let's give a quick word to our friends at Roback. I'm wearing the sweatshirt right now. It's one of the best comfortable sweatshirts I have in my closet. There's only one way to describe Roback. It's best fit, best feel. For those who aren't familiar with Roback, they're completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable active wear. Roback has released so many items in the new game day collection, and it's our favorite. With novel polo designs, a clean hoodie, and quarter zip designs for some of your favorite schools, it's definitely worth checking out. Nobody else in the market is pairing this level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. Use code NCS20 to save 20% on your next purchase. New customers only at roback.com. That's RHOBACK.com. Use bonus code NCS and the numbers 20 to save 20% on your entire purchase. All right, let's give you a score prediction for NC State and Campbell. I'm going with 38-7. I think this is a game NC State's offense runs, gets out to an early lead and just keeps it. I don't expect this one to get interesting. NC State fans certainly don't want this one to get interesting. And I don't think it will. I think 38-7, pretty clean game by both sides of the ball. And I will predict NC State has less than 10 missed tackles. I think that this is a big game for them to prove, in a week's time they can fix it. I think less than 10 missed tackles is a bold prediction. You heard it here first on the podcast. Before we get out of here, I just want to give a quick shout out to NC State men's soccer. Remains undefeated after a 3-0 win over UNCW on Wednesday night. I was on the road. Donovan Phillips scored again, his 14th of the year, and that leads the country. He's one of the best goal scorers in the entire nation. We'll have a feature on him on the Wolfpacker.com on Friday afternoon. So keep an eye out for that if you want to read more about what motivates him, why he's scoring at the clip he's scoring, and more. But you know what? Men's soccer, they've only allowed one goal this year. It was in their draw at Pitt last week. It's just incredible. It was the only team in NCAA that hadn't allowed a goal at the time. They're rolling. Defensively, Logan Urban goal, Donovan Phillip at the top. I mean, this team is looking good. This team is, I think it's a squad. Yes, they're really early in ACC play. Big test with Virginia coming up. Clemson next week. Notre Dame. It's going to get hard. But I think this is a team that can win the ACC title. I think it is. I think they can get to Cary and win it. And then they'd want to get back to Cary at the end of the year for the College Cup. I do think they have the talent to do that too. So we won't get too far ahead of ourselves, but we will provide you coverage of NC State men's soccer. A couple feature stories throughout the rest of the regular season. But once the postseason hits, I think we're gonna go all out. We're gonna be at every game. We're gonna check it out. We're gonna do our thing and cover the Wolfpack men. They're playing really, really well right now on the soccer field. So, but first, we'll see if the football team can kind of match it this weekend and get back on the winning way. 4-2 record would look really nice going to Notre Dame. Would probably be the best case scenario at this point. Notre Dame is going to be an interesting one. We'll preview that one all next week, as well as recapping the Campbell game next week as well. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you subscribe to thewolfpacker.com. It's $1 for first week at thewolfpacker.com. It gets you access to the entire On3 network. So don't forget to check it out and give us a chance. Well, I appreciate you watching. We'll be back next week to preview Notre Dame, to talk about the game against Campbell, and more. Until then, bye for now.